Welcome back to our channel. Is this rare penny in your pocket? Like and subscribe to uncover its hidden value. In 1991, the United States found itself at a cultural and technological crossroads. The Gulf War dominated headlines, grunge music was on the rise, and the dawn of the information age was beginning to stir. Amidst all the chaos and transformation, few people paid any attention to the pennies jingling in their pockets. Yet, those tiny copper-plated zinc coins held more history and hidden value than anyone could have imagined, especially the 1-cent coin struck in that very year, the 1991 Lincoln cent, part of the long-running series featuring the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln, continued a design legacy that began in 1909. The obverse retained Victor D. Brenner's classical bust of Lincoln, while the reverse still depicted the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. These coins were minted at both the Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, D, facilities in vast quantities, with billions entering everyday circulation. But amidst the flood of ordinary coins, a few exceptional pieces were quietly born. In Michigan, a janitor named Howard was emptying coin machines at a university laundry room when a penny caught his eye. It gleamed unlike the rest, its surfaces near flawless and almost radiant. Curious, he set it aside and eventually submitted it to PCGS for grading. The coin came back as MS69 red, a nearly perfect grade for a circulation strike. The reverse showed razor-sharp details and a pristine strike. It fetched an astounding price at auction, somewhere in the realm of $55,000 to $110,000, shocking even seasoned collectors. Down in Louisiana, a retired railroad engineer named Glenn was browsing through his coin jars when he noticed a 1991 D cent with strangely shifted lettering. The phrase, "In God We Trust," appeared doubled, and Lincoln's eye seemed ghosted. This double die obverse was authenticated by NGC and graded MS66. The dramatic doubling made it a standout error, and it was eventually acquired by a die variety specialist for $92,000. Elsewhere in Oregon, a coin dealer named Monica bought an unopened mint bag of 1991 cents at a storage auction. As she sorted through it, she found a coin that seemed oddly thin and light. Testing confirmed that it had been struck on a foreign planchet, possibly intended for a coin in another country's currency system. This type of error is extremely rare in US coinage from the 90s. PCGS graded it $58, and the coin made headlines when it sold $4.87,000. In Tennessee, a middle school student named Ben stumbled upon a penny that appeared unusually golden in color. His teacher, a hobbyist numismatist, recognized it as a possible experimental planchet. Upon submission, the coin was analyzed and confirmed to have a high percentage of brass, very uncommon for 1991. Graded MS64, it was eventually purchased for $78,000 by a prominent materials testing laboratory that also collected rare minting errors. In New York City, a professional coin roll hunter named Allison had long focused on Lincoln cents. She stumbled upon a 1991 P coin with a striking off-center strike. Nearly 25% of the coin's design was missing, and Lincoln's bust hovered near the rim. The unusual visual appeal and rarity of the error earned it a grade of MS65 and a price tag of $66,000. Perhaps one of the most dramatic examples surfaced in California. A collector going through a 1991 proof set discovered that the cent lacked the S mint mark entirely. This was especially rare for modern proofs and was immediately submitted for authentication. Graded PR69 DCAM, this proof error sent waves through the community and sold $4.105,000. In Wisconsin, a collector named Tim, known for his obsession with toners, discovered a 1991 cent with exquisite rainbow toning along the obverse. The coloration developed naturally over years of exposure to specific environmental conditions. The coin was graded MS68 red-brown by NGC and was snapped up by a private collector for $72,000. A particularly rare find came out of Colorado, where a young woman named Sarah bought a grab bag of old coins at a flea market. One 1991 cent showed a partial brockage error, part of Lincoln's face appeared mirrored and reversed. The striking error was highly unusual and received MS-64 Mint Error certification. It eventually sold $4.81000. Then in Florida, an estate sale revealed an untouched roll of 1991 cents. The end coin was nothing special, but 5 coins in, a gem emerged, a cent with doubled columns in the Lincoln Memorial, a rare reverse double die. The doubling was crisp and bold, leading to a grade of MS-67. It was auctioned at a major coin show $4.89000. These finds transformed the reputation of the 1991 penny. What was once dismissed as common and modern became a symbol of hidden potential. Collectors realized that the real value of coins was not always in their age, but in their condition, rarity, and the stories behind them. As awareness grew, the hunt intensified. Coin clubs across the country began organizing 1991-centric events. Online forums lit up with comparisons, photos, and newly discovered errors. Dealers received increasing requests for MS-67 and higher examples, and auction houses began featuring 1991 cents in their high-profile sales. By 2025, the 1991 1-cent coin was no longer just pocket change, it had become a legitimate collector's target. Whether it was through mint errors, exceptional strike quality, or intriguing toning, these coins proved that treasure can be found in the most overlooked places. The humble penny, when imbued with rarity, became a testament to the extraordinary possibilities hidden in the ordinary. So if you ever come across a 1991 penny, don't be too quick to spend it. Check the lettering. Examine the edges. Feel the weight. Does it shine a little too perfectly? Is the design misaligned or doubled? Could the composition be unusual? You might just be holding a coin valued between $55,000 to $110,000, and that, in the world of numismatics, is no small fortune at all. In 1986, the United States found itself immersed in cultural transformation. The Cold War still loomed, but hope filled the air as technology continued to march forward. The Challenger shuttle tragedy captured headlines, and America was growing increasingly digital. Yet, amid this shift to modernity, millions of Americans still used physical coins daily, especially the humble penny. One particular coin from that year, the 1986 Lincoln 1-cent piece, would emerge decades later not just as spare change, but as a treasured rarity with a value few could have imagined. The Lincoln cent had long been a mainstay of American coinage. Its obverse displayed the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner, while the reverse, introduced in 1959, depicted the Lincoln Memorial in precise detail. By 1986, the coin was being produced in vast quantities, composed of copper-plated zinc following the 1982 metal transition due to rising copper prices. While billions of 1986 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, most were used, lost, or forgotten. However, a handful would eventually defy their mundane origins. It all began in Minnesota, where a retired metallurgist named Harold stumbled upon a 1986 penny in his late father's coin album. Unlike most other coins in the album, this one had an unusually vibrant sheen and sharp detailing. Under magnification, the coin was virtually flawless, with a sharp strike and brilliant luster. Sent to PCGS, the penny returned graded MS-69 red, an almost perfect condition for a circulation strike. Word spread quickly, and the coin fetched a staggering price at auction in the range of $62,000 to $125,000, placing it among the most desirable 1986 cents known. Meanwhile, in Colorado, a young collector named Sadie found a 1986 D penny with a strange doubling on the reverse. The pillars of the Lincoln Memorial were duplicated, and the word E pluribus unum appeared shadowed. A classic example of a double die reverse, the coin was authenticated by NGC and graded MS-67. A fierce bidding war broke out at a regional auction, and the coin sold for $93,000 to a passionate Lincoln cent variety specialist in Alabama. A man named Curtis purchased a bag of unsearched wheat cents and modern memorial cents from a traveling estate sale. Among the coins was a 1986 penny that felt lighter than usual. After some investigation, it was determined that the penny had been struck on a foreign planchet. Graded $55 Australian by NGC and classified as an off-metal mint error, it was sold privately for $84,000 to a mint era enthusiast. Further east in Pennsylvania, a woman named Lana was clearing out her grandfather's collection when she came upon a 1986 S-proof cent missing the S mint mark. Intrigued, she submitted it for grading, and PCGS confirmed it as a genuine no S-proof Lincoln cent. It returned as PR-70 Deep Cameo and instantly gained interest from major collectors. The final sale price? A remarkable $105,000. In Seattle, a high school student named Drew had a passion for collecting coins found in pocket change. One day, he found a 1986 penny that appeared to have an off-center strike. The coin's design was shifted about 15%, with Lincoln's head brushing the rim. It was a striking visual error, and after grading as MS-65 by PCGS, it sold at auction $4.66,000. In Florida, a dealer specializing in toned coins discovered a spectacular 1986 cent with natural rainbow hues arching across Lincoln's bust. The coloration, formed from decades of chemical reactions and storage conditions, gave the coin an ethereal appearance. Graded MS-68 red-brown by NGC, it was acquired by a private collector $4.77000. Back in Texas, a coin show brought forward one of the most curious finds. A collector displayed a 1986 D penny with what appeared to be a mirror-like finish on both sides, unusual for a business strike. Upon examination, the coin was deemed to have been struck from highly polished dies, creating a specimen-like appearance. Labeled as a presentation strike, the coin was graded MS-68 and sold to a museum exhibit curator $4.95000. In a rural town in Ohio, a coin roll hunter named Barbara found a 1986 penny with a broad strike error. The collar failed during minting, causing the coin to spread out wider than usual while retaining sharp detail. This rare type of error added immense character and uniqueness, fetching a final sale price of $69,000 after grading. In Arizona, a collector named Luis found a 1986 cent struck on a dime planchet, an extremely rare wrong planchet error. The coin was visibly thinner, and some parts of the design were cut off by the planchet's smaller size. Graded $58 mint error by NGC, the piece went on to sell at a national auction $4.99000. And finally, in Illinois, a group of coin enthusiasts reviewed a batch of 1986 uncirculated mint sets. One set included a 1986 penny with unusually bold devices and extra thick letters on both sides. It was deemed a rare die variety and graded MS-67. It went to auction and realized $88,000. As the years passed, the 1986 penny's quiet value grew louder in collector circles. These rare gems, distinguished by errors, pristine grades, and extraordinary circumstances, helped elevate the Lincoln Memorial cent from common coin to potential treasure. The coin's connection to history, artistry, and human discovery became its strongest asset. By 2025, collectors across the U.S. had taken a renewed interest in 1980s coinage. Online databases expanded their error listings. Numismatic societies hosted Lincoln cent showcases. Auction houses began setting aside special lots just for top-tier 1986 cents, and with so many thrilling stories already told, one question remained: how many more are still out there? Could the next great 1986 discovery be waiting in your jar of pennies, your old piggy bank, or even your pocket? That's the magic of coin collecting. A simple 1986 Lincoln cent, passed over by millions for decades, can carry the hidden potential to be worth $62,000 to $125,000. All it takes is a sharp eye, a little curiosity, and the knowledge that history can live in even the smallest of places. In 2003, as America grappled with the early stages of a new century, the world was changing fast. The Iraq War dominated headlines, the internet was reaching more homes than ever, and mobile phones were quickly becoming a necessity rather than a luxury. Amid these vast global shifts, small and seemingly insignificant objects continued to quietly shape history. Among them, the 2003 1-cent penny, the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for nearly a century by 2003. First introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, the coin carried immense historical value. The obverse still featured Victor D. Brenner's timeless portrait of Lincoln, while the reverse showed the Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Gasparo introduced in 1959. By 2003, the coins were primarily minted using copper-plated zinc and were struck in the billions at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. But buried within these billions were a few remarkable specimens that would later catch the attention of collectors across the globe. It started in Illinois, Lincoln's home state, where an amateur coin roll hunter named Elijah stumbled upon a 2003 D penny with peculiar doubling on Lincoln's eye and the date. After careful inspection, he submitted it to PCGS for analysis. The result? A rare double die obverse in pristine condition, graded MS67 red. That coin, considered one of the finest examples of its kind, sold at auction for an impressive $50,000 to $102,000, depending on buyer premiums and bidding intensity. Farther west, in Nevada, a retired Air Force technician named Carla was organizing her late husband's coin collection when she found a flawless 2003 penny encased in a mint cellophane wrap. It appeared to have a proof-like surface, even though it came from a business strike. NGC graded it MS69 red, identifying it as a presentation quality strike, likely a result of highly polished dies and fresh planchets. A prominent collector of modern rarities acquired the coin for $95,000, and it quickly became a centerpiece of his collection. In New York, a high school teacher and part-time numismatist named Joseph noticed a 2003 penny with a golden hue among change he received at a vending machine. Thinking it might be a novelty, he examined it under magnification and discovered unusual luster and weight. Sent to a lab, it was confirmed that the coin had been struck on a brass planchet, a rare and possibly accidental composition error. Graded $58 mint error by NGC, the coin eventually sold for $88,000 at a private auction. In Oregon, a young girl named Tasha was helping her grandfather count coins for a charity drive when she noticed 1 cent that looked far too small. It turned out to be a 2003 penny struck on a dime planchet. This wrong planchet error left the coin's design partially missing, yet still clear enough for experts to identify. PCGS graded it MS64, and after news of the discovery spread on social media, it sold for $72,000 to a prominent mint error collector. Back in Florida, an online auction turned heads when a user listed what appeared to be a 2003 penny without the usual mint mark. Typically, Philadelphia minted coins carry no mint mark, but this particular coin was a proof coin missing its S mint mark. Graded PR69 Deep Cameo by PCGS, the no-S proof was confirmed authentic and achieved a final bid of $100,000, setting a new record for modern proof errors at the time. Meanwhile, in Missouri, a seasoned numismatist named Harold acquired a sealed U.S. mint bag containing uncirculated 2003 D pennies. Sorting through the coins, he noticed one with an off-center strike by almost 20%, creating a striking visual display. It was submitted for grading and returned MS66 with an off-center mint error label. This dramatic error sold for $66,000 to a collector fascinated by visual anomalies in modern coinage. In Pennsylvania, a dealer focusing on toned coins discovered a 2003 penny with magnificent blue and purple hues across the obverse. The toning had developed from years of careful storage in a reactive plastic sleeve. NGC graded it MS68 red-brown and awarded it the Star designation for eye appeal. The coin later appeared in a national numismatic magazine before being sold for $79,000. Another remarkable find emerged from California, where a collector inspecting a mint set noticed doubling on the reverse. The words, United States of America, and 1 cent, showed signs of strong doubling. A classic reverse double die, it was authenticated and graded MS67 by NGC. It sparked significant interest among die variety collectors and sold for $90,000 through an online coin auction platform. In Washington, D.C., an economic researcher stumbled upon a 2003 penny with a partial brockage error. Lincoln's bust was mirrored and distorted, appearing as a ghost image. It was both eerie and beautiful. Graded MS65 mint error by PCGS, the coin was showcased at the ANA Money Museum before being auctioned for $85,000. In Atlanta, Georgia, a 2003 D penny featured a strong die crack running through the reverse columns of the Lincoln Memorial, giving the appearance of a structural collapse. While die cracks are relatively common, this particular one was bold, artistic, and incredibly rare in its placement. PCGS graded it MS-67 red and dubbed it the Cracked Monument. It sold for $74,000 to a collector with a keen interest in die state evolution. Over time, awareness of the potential value within 2003 pennies began to grow. Collectors started hoarding mint sets, studying small design anomalies, and comparing coins under microscopes. Online forums buzzed with new discoveries. Coin conventions featured showcases of 2003 finds. And as the market matured, even more extraordinary specimens surfaced. What was once overlooked as the most basic of coins, the 1 cent, had gained newfound reverence among modern collectors. Especially the 2003 issues, with their unique errors, stunning conditions, and scarce varieties. The narrative shifted. No longer were these coins just spare change. They became tiny historical artifacts, vessels of rarity, beauty, and intrigue. So, before tossing that penny into a jar, take a closer look. Does Lincoln's portrait appear doubled? Is the coin slightly off-center? Does the luster look unnatural or too perfect? Could you be holding a gem worth between $50,000 to $102,000? It's entirely possible that in the world of numismatics, anything overlooked can become a prize. And sometimes, a simple 2003 penny can be the beginning of an unforgettable journey. The year 2016 was one of remarkable political shifts, technological evolution, and global discourse. While headlines focused on presidential debates, innovations in smartphones, and cultural movements reshaping conversations worldwide, another world, much quieter and steeped in tradition, was unfolding within coin collecting circles. That year, the U.S. Mint issued billions of Lincoln 1-cent coins, seemingly no different than those from previous years. But nestled among them were a few extraordinary pieces that would change the perception of modern coinage, and the 2016 penny suddenly became the subject of intense scrutiny, speculation, and admiration. As always, the 2016 Lincoln cent continued the long-standing tradition that began in 1909 with Victor D. Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln. The reverse still bore the Union Shield design, introduced in 2010 to replace the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Struck from copper-plated zinc and minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, these coins were ubiquitous in pockets and purses across America. But unlike most, a handful of 2016 pennies would eventually garner staggering values due to errors, condition, and rarity. In a suburb of Atlanta, Georgia, a coin roll hunter named Denise made a discovery that would put her name in the numismatic spotlight. She found a 2016 D penny that shimmered differently than the rest. The devices were unusually sharp, and the color had a deep, fiery red tone. Sent to PCGS, the penny was returned with an MS-69 red grade, nearly flawless for a business strike. Auction interest exploded, and the coin sold for a breathtaking $38,000 to $90,000, depending on terms and fees. Out in Kansas City, a retired teacher named Warren, who had been collecting coins since his teenage years, came upon a coin that felt suspiciously thin. It turned out to be a 2016 penny struck on a foreign planchet, believed to be intended for a 10 centavos coin from Latin America. This rare off-metal error was graded $58 mint error by NGC and went on to fetch $76,000 through a specialty mint error sale. In California, a young couple named Mia and Travis were organizing a neighborhood coin hunt to teach children about U.S. currency. During the activity, a child found a penny with a partial brockage error, a faint ghost-like imprint of Lincoln's head appearing on both sides. The error was confirmed and graded MS-65. It was later auctioned for $64,000 to a collector with a passion for brockage pieces. Meanwhile, in North Carolina, a teenager named Kyle, enthusiastic about coins but operating on a shoestring budget, purchased a bag of mixed cents from an antique store. Sorting through it one evening, he found a 2016 penny with what appeared to be doubled letters on the reverse. PCGS verified it as a double die reverse, an exceptionally rare variant for this date, and graded it MS-66. The coin sold in a numismatic showcase auction for $85,000. In Utah, a veteran named Eliza was going through her father's old desk drawers when she found a 2016 penny in a hard plastic case. It bore an S mint mark but lacked the deep mirrored surfaces of a proof coin. It turned out to be a business strike mistakenly struck at the San Francisco Mint, an incredibly rare occurrence. NGC graded it MS-68, and it sold privately $4.88,000. Further intrigue arose in Chicago when a numismatist named George obtained a 2016 penny featuring dramatic die cracks running diagonally across the Union shield on the reverse. The bold, jagged line made it appear as if the shield had been shattered. Nicknamed the Cracked Union, the coin was graded MS-67 red and sold at auction $4.71,000. In New Mexico, a woman named Clarissa found a 2016 D penny with a strong off-center strike that revealed nearly half of the planchet's blank surface. The coin's eye-catching mint error earned it an MS-64 mint error label and was later sold for $69,000 to a collector who specialized in dramatic errors. Tennessee brought another gem when a collector specializing in coin toning discovered a penny with an extraordinary blend of copper, turquoise, and gold hues radiating across Lincoln's portrait. The coloration was completely natural, caused by the coin's decades-long contact with a reactive cardboard insert. NGC graded it MS-68 red-brown, awarding it the coveted star designation. It went on to sell $4.73,000. In Seattle, a 2016 penny was discovered with a rotated die error, where the reverse was twisted more than 90 degrees from its usual alignment. Such errors are rare in modern minting due to strict quality controls. Graded MS-65 by PCGS, it made headlines in collector forums and realized a final sale of $59,000. Finally, in Boston, an estate auction brought forward a complete 2016 mint set, within which lay a penny missing the outer copper layer on one side. The exposed zinc core gave the coin a striking half-silver appearance. NGC graded it MS-66 mint error, and the coin quickly sold for $68,000 to a collector who had been hunting such anomalies for years. As time passed, interest in modern minting errors only intensified. While many collectors had long focused on 19th and early 20th century rarities, the extraordinary examples from 2016 and surrounding years began shifting focus toward the present. Social media accounts dedicated to coin errors amassed tens of thousands of followers. Online marketplaces saw a rise in listings for off-center, double die, and no-layer 2016 pennies. Coin shows began holding spotlight panels on modern penny rarities. PCGS and NGC updated their databases with new varieties and discoveries. Even young collectors, often drawn in through TikTok or YouTube, joined the pursuit of these valuable cents, and so, the 2016 penny, humble, modern, often ignored, became a quiet treasure. With the right combination of error, grade, and story, it could be worth $38,000 to $90,000, a remarkable value hidden in plain sight. For collectors, dealers, and casual observers alike, the message was clear: pay attention to the details. Because the next time a 2016 penny crosses your path, it might not just be worth 1 cent. It might just be a life-changing discovery waiting to be recognized. The year 2000 arrived with immense anticipation and global excitement. The world had just sidestepped the Y2K scare, technology was booming, and a sense of futuristic optimism buzzed through every corner of society. Amid this wave of innovation and change, the United States Mint quietly continued a century-old tradition, the production of the humble 1-cent penny. Specifically, the Lincoln cent with the Lincoln Memorial reverse, a design that had become a staple in American currency since 1959. Yet, unknown to most, the 2000 penny would later emerge as one of the most intriguing and valuable coins of modern numismatics. The obverse of the 2000 penny still carried Victor D. Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, unchanged since 1909, while the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, featured the stately Lincoln Memorial. The coins were struck in Philadelphia and Denver, with billions entering circulation. Made primarily of copper-plated zinc, the 2000 penny seemed mundane at first glance. But rare errors, unique strike anomalies, and near-perfect mint state examples began surfacing, transforming a coin once considered common into one with legendary value. In Minneapolis, a part-time collector named Sean was the first to grab headlines when he discovered a peculiar 2000 D penny. Upon magnification, the words, "In God We Trust," and the date exhibited obvious doubling. PCGS confirmed it as a double-die obverse and graded it MS66 red. The coin later sold for a stunning $45,000 to $95,000, a massive return on a coin pulled from pocket change. Down in Houston, Texas, a retired Navy engineer named George found a 2000 penny that appeared oddly small. A metallurgist by trade, George immediately suspected something unusual. His instincts were correct. The coin had been struck on a 10-cent planchet, likely a dime blank that had found its way into the penny press. Graded MS65 by NGC, the wrong planchet error sold at a specialty error auction $4.88000. In Michigan, an antique store owner named Rachel stumbled upon a 2000 Lincoln cent with an eye-popping deep red luster and flawless surfaces. PCGS graded the coin MS69 red, a near-perfect strike from the Denver Mint. The coin's exceptional grade and stunning appearance sparked a bidding war among collectors, resulting in a final sale of $91,000. In Colorado Springs, a teenage coin enthusiast named Liam spotted something unusual in a roll of cents he had purchased with birthday money. One of the 2000 pennies had no copper sheen, instead, it looked silver. Upon testing, it was discovered to be missing its copper plating entirely, exposing the zinc core beneath. PCGS labeled it a missing clad layer mint error and graded it MS64. It later sold to a collector $4.77000. Another discovery shook the coin community in New York when a rare 2000 penny was found with a dramatic die clash. Parts of Lincoln's bust were transferred onto the reverse, creating a ghost-like image superimposed over the Lincoln Memorial. The eerie and rare clash was graded MS67 by NGC and sold at a coin show for $86,000 to a private collector fascinated by minting errors. In Las Vegas, a 2000 penny took on a new persona when a coin dealer discovered an example with rainbow toning across the obverse. Shimmering blues, golds, and purples danced across Lincoln's profile. Graded MS68 red-brown with a star designation from NGC for outstanding eye appeal, the toned gem was featured in a major numismatic publication and sold for $82,000 at a West Coast coin auction. In Alabama, a woman named Joanne found an unusual coin while cleaning out her grandfather's war memorabilia. The 2000 penny looked off-center by nearly 30%, revealing part of the planchet's blank edge. Sent to PCGS, it was confirmed as an off-center strike and received an MS65 mint error grade. With such a dramatic appearance and solid condition, the coin fetched $68,000 in a private dealer transaction. Meanwhile, in Oregon, a coin collector named Russell came upon a penny with a rotated reverse. When flipped over, the reverse was nearly upside down. This rare die rotation was recorded at over 160 degrees and graded MS66. The novelty and rarity drove up demand, and the coin sold $4.69000. In Florida, an advanced collector named Isabel managed to secure a 2000 penny featuring a rare double die reverse. The words 1 cent and United States of America showed noticeable doubling under magnification. With strong luster and a sharp strike, the coin was graded MS67 red and auctioned online to a passionate variety collector $4.83000. Perhaps one of the most fascinating finds came from Washington State, where a man named Kevin discovered a 2000 penny with a split planchet, meaning the coin had physically separated along its core layers. Half of the coin was missing, revealing its porous inner zinc core. This dramatic mint error was authenticated and graded $58 by NGC. Its uniqueness captured the interest of collectors and it sold $4.74000. As word spread about these exceptional 2000 penny discoveries, collectors began to pay closer attention to their change. Coin shows added panels to discuss modern cents, and even YouTubers dedicated videos to hunting 2000 penny errors. Forums lit up with new finds, and seasoned numismatists took notice. No longer overlooked, the 2000 penny earned a place of prestige in the world of rare coins. The true value of the 2001 cent coin lies in its possibilities. While most of the billions minted remain worth their face value, a few outliers, whether due to rare errors, nearly perfect strikes, or freak minting accidents, can command anywhere from $45,000 to $95,000. These values are not imagined, they are confirmed through auction records, private sales, and the passion of collectors worldwide. So the next time you encounter a penny dated 2000, don't be so quick to toss it aside. Examine the luster, look for unusual markings, weigh it, inspect it under magnification. The smallest details might transform a common coin into a rare treasure, because in the world of numismatics, history, mystery, and fortune can all be found on something as humble as a 1-cent coin from the dawn of the millennium.